Two. ESPN
Oh,
said what? How dare they?
well, welcome back, folks. Today, we have Kyle fully revved up with some caffeine in his system because we are analyzing and throwing some shade at ESPN. They just released their top 35 fantasy football quarterbacks for the upcoming 2026 season. So we have a lot of shade to throw. We're going to release some counterintelligence on them, share our concerns, and have a little bit of fun. You know
Do
what
they
I mean?
even lift? Do they even lift?
I mean, Patrick Mahomes shirtless after a game tells me no. No, it's interesting. It's an interesting top 35, you guys, because they got plenty of people that are in the 20s that could be in the top 10, a couple people in the top 10 that probably shouldn't be there. So let's dive in. Kyle, how the hell you doing today?
Living the dream, the fantasy football dream.
Wow, that is a dream indeed. But before we get into it, we're talking a subjective toughest quarterbacks of all time. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun.
Hold on,
Lamar,
let me get my Vicodin for this.
there it is. There it is. We're starting with the man,
Mm,
Brett Favre. He played
mm.
297 straight games, including he played the day after his dad died and chucked 399 yards and 4 touchdowns. What an emotional and magical game that was. But it also shows that Brett Favre was one of the toughest SOBs, both physically and emotionally. And sure, he did have large quantities of Vicodin that helped him most of his career. But who didn't in the 90s? Okay, that was the 90s. Doctors were handing them out like Tic Tacs. Other toughest quarterbacks, Big Ben Roethlisberger. That dude played with sprained ankles every game, just limping around, defenders dragging off him, and he was still chucking it and standing up. Pretty impressive. Matt Stafford. I always remember him getting beat up on Detroit, and the dude always performed, always still got the ball to Megatron, and he's still chucking and still winning Super Bowls at his early 40s he's in now.
Yeah.
All right, this one wouldn't have been on here, but because of last year, our boy Phillip Rivers, who the heck leaves the NFL for 5 years and comes back at young 40s and
That's pretty
still
big.
chucks the ball and almost wins a game for him? Like, that was amazing. I cannot believe anyone's body could do that at that age. And most recently, Josh Allen, he's a tough son of a gun. Kyle, am I
Yeah.
missing anyone here? Anyone on these tough quarterback lists?
Uh, I mean, Herbert's also been pretty tough. He's showed some toughness. He's played through some injuries. He's got a bad offensive line last year. He's not bad for modern
I
day toughness.
I think Herbert's a Cali pretty boy. I love the guy, but he's a Cali pretty boy. I think he's a little softer. I don't know. I don't know. I know what you're saying, but
Mm.
I think other quarterbacks, they have all those injuries. You just don't even hear about them.
I think Jalen Hurts is also pretty tough.
Yes, he is. I will absolutely give that man some toughness. All right. Top 35 ESPN fantasy football rankings. We're going to go through 1 through 5, 6 through 10, kind of 11 through 20, 21 through the rest, if you will. Starting out at number 1. Is there any question marks here for anybody? Because hell no for me. Josh Allen, without a doubt, is the number 1 quarterback in all facets of ESPN fantasy football. Any arguments here, Kyle?
No, he's who I told you to take last year at number 1 over Lamar, and you're effing welcome for that, helping that with that championship.
That's actually not at all how that went.
That's exactly how that went.
Lamar Jackson was picked before me, and I had no other option other than to pick Josh Allen.
You're right. You could have pivoted to running back to Bijan.
Right. No, absolutely not. I won the Super Bowl. I made my right pick. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. You know, it's kind of the debate with these two. My question is there another quarterback that gets thrown in the mix this year with Jaden Daniels or Drake May, someone else that might take one of these guys' arguments for 1 and 2? Does anyone come in and knock these guys off the 1 and 2 spots like Bijan and Jameer? Is there anyone that's going to come in there, Kyle?
You're speaking for a 2 quarterback league?
Sure.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would take in 1 quarterback. I'm taking the running backs over these guys.
Well, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess I meant just quarterback solely.
Quarterback solo. Josh Allen stands alone in his own tier.
That's what the whole episode's about.
Jackson is going to be very, very interesting. New team. Hopefully a bounce back, or new head coach. Hopefully a bounce back. Same team, new head coach. Hopefully a bounce back year for him.
We have not started drinking yet. For anyone that's wondering, we have not started drinking yet.
Jaden Daniels, what a sophomore crap. Drake May, I could see him sliding into some second quarterback off the board action.
They have Drake May at number 4, folks. That's a new man in town at number 4 here. I would say yes until I saw the.
He finished as quarterback 2 last year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's because that dude showed some major rushing upside. However, when he played a really good defense, he shit the bed. So there is
Jalen
that.
Hurts, yeah, I can't really get Jalen Hurts any other higher 5 is who they have right
Jalen
now.
Hurts at top five.
We're probably gonna be lower on him than that this year, even.
The dude struggles to throw a football year in and year out. He's got another offensive coordinator coming on for the 5th straight year, and he's another year older, which is going to make rushing more difficult. My question and biggest one for this one is, Kyle, if they get rid of the tush push, how far does Jalen Hurts fall on this quarterback ranking? Because if there's no more tush push, I struggle to put him in top 7, top 8 even.
Yeah, I think he's in the top 10 still. He'll definitely go down a tier. I mean, he's borderline in that next tier for me anyway.
Yeah.
It's interesting. The one is for sure. The next 4 are really tough for me this early to even have in here. Like,
This is where it gets exciting.
I know Drake May is going to be in the top 5 somewhere. Jane Daniels should be, but he burned me last year. He burned me bad.
Yep.
So
Real bad.
I'm a little scarred.
Yep.
Lamar also hurt me last year on my dynasty squad, but he needs to be in there for sure.
Yeah.
Joe
So
Burrow.
two of those top 3 does have some serious question mark within it, which should never be the case. If you're a top 3 quarterback, there shouldn't be a question mark in there. That's where it makes it kind of fun. I know it's injury dependent for a rushing quarterback, but still, Jaden Daniels, I mean, that serious question mark there with that whole offense and how they looked, even when he was healthy.
Quarterback 3.
That's a lot of risk. That's a lot of risk. I think I'm taking Drake May over Jaden Daniels just off consistency, less risk, more consistent. You know what I mean? He can still run the ball.
He's certainly safer.
Yeah.
And he has the upside as he finished as quarterback too. So, I mean, I think the wise decision right now is actually taking him above Jaden Daniels. Sorry, ESPN.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get more to the 6 through 10. We'll get this in front of you because this is where it really gets, you could kind of argue these things anyway. 6 through 10 in order. Joe Burrow, Jackson Dart, there's a reach. Brock Purdy, there's another reach. Trevor Lawrence, major year last year. And Bo Nix. That is 6 through 10. I like Joe Burrow at 6. Jackson Dart, I'm sorry, but the Giants, I am not putting him as a top 7 quarterback. I am putting him just outside the top 10 at QB 11. And I love me some Jackson Dart. Don't get me wrong. He can run. He can throw. He's getting Malik Neighbors back. All great factors. But putting him in that offense immediately as a top 7 QB, there's more
it's a little
players.
too quick. I do
More
think
proven
for fantasy, though, he is a sexy pick because
100%.
he is a great rusher. So I like that, but it does seem a bit of a reach this early. Brock Purdy, I do not think belongs in this bracket whatsoever.
He's not top 10. He should not be top 10. There is names
Especially
he should
not
not be
ahead
in
of
front
Trevor
of.
Lawrence and Bo Nix. Trevor Lawrence and Bo Nix are proven, and they have great offensive-minded coaches around them. Those guys deserve to be in this range with the Joe Burrow, I believe. Purdy's out for me in here. And then Dart, maybe closer to 10 is probably where I would throw. And then, like, guys on the next tier that are at the top, like Caleb Williams, Dak Prescott, I think I like those guys better.
I mean, let's get into the exactness of how many people I would take over Brock Purdy here at 8. Trevor Lawrence at 9? Yes. Bo Nix at 10? Yes. Caleb Williams 11? Yes. Dak at 12? Yes. Matt Stafford? Yes. Patrick Mahomes? Definitely.
Yes.
Now is where it's dicey. Daniel Jones? I'm saying yes still.
Okay, I'll say yes with you.
And that's where I cut it off, because after that it's Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Tyler Show.
I'm taking Herbert over Purdy. Yes. I'm taking Herbert over Purdy.
That's the last one.
Herbert finished as quarterback 10 with what on his offensive line?
Yeah. All right. So we put him down 9 spots to 17 in front of Kyler Murray. So that's where this is.
That's
fun.
where he belongs.
Sorry, Brock Purdy. We did you real dirty, but we saw how you played against Seattle last year. You didn't even know what you were doing. So, all right. Trevor Lawrence, number 9. I get you Trevor Lawrence being in front of Purdy, Dart, Jalen Hurts, even, depending on how that looks with the tush push. Trevor Lawrence went off last year, for those who don't know.
Yeah, he finished as quarterback 4. So this was another magical head coach coordinator change that really worked out for the quarterback, like Caleb Williams last year with the Bears. So, and I actually, I think that's probably where he needs to be. I think for the funness of it, I'd probably still want to draft Dart just for the rushing funness of it. I like Bo Nix better.
Yep.
But Trevor Lawrence deserves to be in here, and it's painful for me to say.
He does. He absolutely does.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's talk about
I'll break down the 11 through 20. I know we kind of talked about them, but here's the official:
Yep.
Caleb, Dak, Stafford, Patty Mahomes. What a slide. I think
It's
they had
dirty.
him at 6 or 7 last year.
It's way too dirty.
Danny Dimes at 15, Herbert at 16. A disrespect, a true disrespect to Justin Herbert and John Harbaugh, in my opinion. This guy deserves to be around the 10 range. Kyler Murray, this is the gamble, right? Tyler, Chuck, front of Baker, Goff, interesting. Those are the next two, Baker and Goff. That gets you to 11 to 20 there. I'm sorry, but I see these next two names in the 20 range, Malik and Jordan Love. And I like those guys better than a lot of those other players.
A lot. So, all right, let's stick with the 11 through 20 here. What stands out the most? The biggest issue, and this is a flip-flop for me from last year, is Patrick Mahomes at 14. The dude had 20.4 points per game, which is fourth out of QBs. So when I'm evaluating players that have been injured or played through some injury, I'm looking at their average points per game more than anything else because that tells you how they did while they were healthy. Patrick Mahomes was quarterback number 4. Trevor Lawrence was number 5. And then here's where we can kind of kick that comment. Brock Purdy is number 6.
Oh,
so that does kick my own argument.
And they did get Mike Evans. They did get Mike Evans. That's probably why he got such a boost.
This is true. All right, so there's some facts here. But again, Mahomes being quarterback 14, finished as quarterback 4 on the average points per game. That is some serious disrespect. Who's going to have a full arsenal the full year this time. And they're going to come back with some vengeance. They have 2 first-round draft picks. They're probably going to get another superstar elite wide receiver as a rookie because that's what they seem to do every year. So I would not count out Mahomes at 14. That is the dirtiest thing on this 11 through 20.
Yeah, I mean, this might be a year where I actually get a little Patty Mahomes. If they're going to disrespect him this hard.
Our league is not going to disrespect him that hard.
I thought he was overvalued at like 6, but I like the value here in this projection.
100%. And then another one that kind of does me a little bit dirty here is Dak Prescott at 12. He finished as 9 on average.
Yeah, let me ask you this. In our two quarterback league, if you waited on quarterback and got Dak Prescott and Pat Mahomes, like I would be happy with that.
You'd be
if I was stacked at my other spots, I'd be happy with that.
And you should be. Minus Mahomes will. I mean, yeah, you should be. That would be a great way to do it.
I mean, even if you got Dak and Herbert, like I like that as well, or Pat Mahomes and Herbert.
Yeah, it's all helping Tommy's strategy of letting QBs fade. Even
we're coming for your strategy this year, Tommy.
Tommy, we're coming for you, young man. All right. Anything else in this range? I mean, Baker going from top 7 last year to 19. That's quite the drop off. Losing Evans will do that, but he does have, Tez Johnson and Agbuka coming back a year better, and he still got Chris Godwin. So I don't know if I think 19 is a little dirty for Baker.
I mean, this is funny. A lot of these players is where we had these guys last year in our rankings.
I know.
It's almost like we pivot now a little bit of bounce. I can't for Baker. I love the player, but for fantasy, I'm not willing to.
So you were out on him last year when he was 7th projected. He's now projected 19th. Now I can be in on him at 19. I would be happy with him at quarterback 16, 17, 8. I mean, I'm fine with him in there. So I think at 19, that's too dirty for a guy that has a
12 last year.
Yeah, that's too dirty. That is way too dirty. All right, should we clear up?
He also had Mike Evans last year, though.
Did he though? For like what, half the year?
That's true. Yeah, for parts of the season.
Yeah. 21 through 30. Are you ready to get into this mess?
I like this mess. I think there's going to be some breakouts. There's going to be some breakouts in this mess. I'm telling you.
Okay, all right. I'll give you the quick rundown. 21 through 35.
Give it to us.
This is how they did it. Malik Willis at 21, who backed up Jordan Love and was sent to Miami. Who's at 22? Jordan Love. What the F?
Let me ask you this. Are you happy with both those guys as your quarterbacks, Antuna? I like that value with those 2 quarterbacks.
I do not want both of them. I want one of them. One of them as my QB2 is fine. I do not want both of them. That is a problem.
What if you had Bijan Robinson and JSN?
That
would probably happen, but
that wouldn't happen. But that does help a lot.
No.
However,
you could probably get Bijan and another elite receiver like a Justin Jefferson, maybe.
Then yeah, I mean that sounds more appetizing. All right, let's go down the list. 21, Malik Willis, Jordan Love, 22, 23, Cam Ward, CJ Stroud. You guys ready for this? The Super Bowl MVP quarterback. Sorry, not the MVP, but the Super Bowl winning quarterback, Sam Darnold
They are doing
25.
him dirty.
25.
ESPN is crapping on Sam Darnold.
Oh my
How
lord!
did he piss off?
Where did he he finished just behind Dart in total points put. Oh, he had some. Okay, all right. I mean, Jesus,
Finished quarterback 14.
He still has JSN. They put him from 14 to 25 after he wins the Super Bowl. There is no one that gets done dirty like Sam Darnold. His whole career.
They did have an offensive coordinator change.
Sure, but they re-signed JSN. All right, moving on. 26, Bryce Young. 27. I didn't know this guy still plays football. Deshaun Watson.
Dude, he's still out there. He's still out there.
Cleveland Browns probably paying him $60 million to do nothing. 28, Geno Smith. 29, Jacoby Brissett for the Cardinals. 30, Tua for the Falcons. This is 30 through 35. This is fun. Aaron Rodgers still a free agent. J.J. McCarthy, your career is over. Shadir Sanders, big question mark there in Cleveland. Michael Penix at 34 and Justin Fields at 35, who now plays for the Kansas City Chiefs to back up Mahomes. That is ESPN's top 35 in a nutshell, folks. I have to go back to where this first thing with Jordan Love being placed behind Malik Willis. How effing hilarious. Jordan Love's back to the quarterback, gets sent to Miami. Miami eviscerates their weapons, gets rid of Waddle and everybody else, Tyreek Hill, and then they put Malik Willis in front of Jordan Love, who's retaining all of his weapons except for Romeo Doubs. That's a mind boggler.
Malik Willis is an elite quarterback rusher, in my opinion. He's gonna get your rush points no matter what.
They must be putting him in some read option offense over there with Halfley, where he's going to have 1,000 rushing yards then, because that is the only way he surpasses Jordan Love.
Well, they've eliminated their receiving core, so they might as well do read option with Devon A-Chain.
Him and A-Chain, they're each going to rush for 1,200 yards this year.
Yeah. And then I think 29, Jacoby Brissett is getting a disservice here. Yes, he helped some people win leagues last year. That guy was money for fantasy toward the end of the season.
For his value, I'll give you that.
That's a huge value. That guy finished as quarterback 16. And how much? When did he start playing? Week 6? He started playing in week 6, and he finished at quarterback. Dude, that is huge value. What if you got Malik and Jacoby Brissett, and you were stacked everywhere else?
I don't love it.
It's not a sexy quarterback situation, but it will produce for fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty high on Malik. I don't know. I think
I'm punting quarterbacks this year in Tuna.
Well, I think so too. I think if there's anything, let people fight over that top 10, the 11 through 20. There's plenty of value there.
There's a lot of value here.
All right, let's just say this: between 11 through 35, you can find yourself one, if not two, top 10 quarterbacks. That is a possibility.
Yeah, let's see. Caleb Williams has a shot. Dak, absolutely. Stafford, done it before. Pat Mahomes usually does it. Danny Dimes
stays healthy. He's got a chance.
Herbert finishes top 10 last year. Kyler Murray, I'm kind of out on him.
Anyone else we can shrug off on that list? Probably not.
Baker, done it before. Goff, done it before. Malik has a chance with rushing upside. Jordan Love has a chance. Cam Ward,
I don't see it this year, but he's going to improve, and he is going to be a good NFL quarterback.
CJ Stroud, if he hasn't done it, he's been close to a top 10, I think. He had that one great season.
It would have been his first year. Ever since then, he looks like trash.
Sam Darnold, I mean, I think that's value. I don't think he'll be a top 10. Bryce Young, probably not. Watson,
will he play a game?
Plays?
You like that note in there? I read his name at 27, and I was like, dude, I don't think he's going to see ever again.
Yep. Geno Smith, no. Brissett, there's a chance. There's a chance.
He was your first no. Your first clear-cut no was Geno. He saw the Jets, and he was like, no.
Tua, I don't think so either. Aaron Rodgers, I don't think so either. J.J. McCarthy, no. Shadur Sanders, no. Michael Penix, probably not. Justin Fields, no.
Yes, absolutely. Patrick Mahomes goes down week 1. Justin Fields comes and runs 25 points a game. Come on now.
All right, there is an outside chance if Mahomes goes down, sure, for Fields.
Okay, that was a lot.
So I think I'd rather gamble on a lot of those chances and then stack where I can stack on all other positions and let the chips fall where they fall for quarterbacks this year.
Yeah, I mean, outside of, You're not wrong. It is nice to have Josh Allen for, or Lamar for when they have those 1 or 2 weeks where they for
He's
sure
the
win
only
you the game.
quarterback. He's the only quarterback I think in this top ten quarterbacks I would really want to consider, uh, especially in a one quarterback league.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about some of these things here, Kyle. My first question for you is who in the bottom five, we'll say bottom 10, 25 to 35, has the best chance to be a top 15 quarterback this year?
I think I already said it's Jacoby Brissett. He didn't play 6 games last year and he finished as quarterback
God,
16.
you are so high on him.
Dude is money with weapons.
All right, fair enough.
I'll
I
give
would
you
pick.
another one. In the top, in the bottom 25 to 35, you're saying?
Yep. Mine is Sam Darnold at 25. I know it's a little bit of a cheapskate one, but he's still got JSN to throw to, and that's still a great team.
Yeah, then I'd have to say either Sam Darnold or Bryce Young, but I don't like it. I think
All right, so
Brissett
he's
is my
sticking
option
with
there.
Brissett.
Mhm.
Brissett and Darnold, those are our value picks. All right. All right, let's flip the script. Who in the top 10 at the quarterback has the best chance of becoming a bottom 10 quarterback? Ooh, when I look at that, I
Brock Purdy.
know that's what sticks out for me too. Joe
I mean,
Burrow,
you can also say Joe Burrow
Purdy.
because the guy seemingly gets hurt a lot lately.
Yeah, I would have to go Purdy or maybe Trevor Lawrence. He somehow goes back to being
I don't
clueless.
think. I think that's too
I
much of
don't
a
think.
regression without an injury. With that,
Well, we had to pick someone. It couldn't all be great.
I'd say
All right.
Purdy, or unfortunately Joe Burrow, just because of his
Sorry,
injury
Kyle.
history.
Not say Can't say Jacoby Brissett, who's the biggest value at quarterback out of all these rankings.
You know, outside of Jacoby Brissett at 21, Malik Willis with his rushing upside is enticing.
There's so many question marks within that new team and no weapons, but I like where your head's at. I
I
have
like the
two.
value at Pat Mahomes at 14. I like Dak at 12. I like Herbert at 16. Those are the
Yeah.
guys I like. Those are all top 10 guys on in most year if they, are close to.
Yeah. I'm going to say, I like it. Mahomes is an easy one at 14. I'm actually going to say Jordan Love. I know we kind of went both homers here, but Jordan Love at 22, I think he is a top 12 quarterback talent every year that we have right now. And he did phenomenal in the playoffs and lost due to no fault of his own 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. So I'm going to go Jordan Love as the most undervalued there.
He finished as quarterback 15 and he missed 3 weeks.
So I'm saying, and played lights out in the playoffs, and his team did not help him.
He loses his safety blanket and Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah, well, he's got more. He's got more than that now. Okay, last question for you.
It's closing time.
Biggest overvalued quarterback on the entire list. Who is the most overvalued? I'm going to say one that's going to piss some people off.
You go first.
I've said it before, and I will say it again. Number 5, Jalen Hurts.
I was thinking that myself.
This isn't against this person as much as it is his offensive scheme and his ability or lack of ability to throw a football. It struggles. It struggled year in and year out. Another offensive coordinator. This is going to be another painful offensive team to watch. And if they get rid of the tush push, you can kiss his top 10 goodbye forever. He will never be a top 10 quarterback again if they get rid of the tush push. Calling it right now.
Okay, I'm going to say Brock Purdy then at 8.
We already said him. Say someone else.
All right, Jalen Hurts. Otherwise, I respect everybody else that's in there. I think, Lamar, Jaden, and Drake May are all kind of tough to. They all have some question marks on them to be quarterbacks 2, 3, and 4.
Packers right now, would you rather have Jalen Hurts or Jordan Love for the Packers quarterback for the rest of time right now and keep their age as it is?
Are you talking about fantasy or are you talking about for the Packers?
Just for the Packers. What would you rather have start their offense, Jalen Hurts or Jordan Love? Because if I hear that, I would still choose Jordan Love.
I am not prepared to answer as GM of the Green Bay Packers, I am not prepared to answer that question. I'd rather have Malik Willis.
This is all right, Jalen Hurts. You have been devalued by the Schluter Bros today. Sorry, Philly fans. We do like Jalen Hurts as a person.
Yeah, just much respect to him.
Yeah, he's a stud, but
for fantasy, he's been on our struggle train here a little bit.
Yeah. And just that whole organization just struggles. All right. What else do we got here? Anything else?
I mean, I think we've done enough respect and disrespect for these players, don't you?
People, let us know what you think. What we said was right or wrong. If you want to blast ESPN, if you want to blast Kyle for hating on Brock Purdy, I know
Hold
there's
on.
49ers fans out
It's
there.
Jacoby. He's calling me to talk.
Oh, guys. He said, Kyle, you're my number one fan. You might be his only fan. If you are still with us, subscribe or whatever, thank you for tuning into the Fantasy Football channel. Catch you on the next one.